Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know I have been gone for quite a long time, but I'm ready to be back and record more videos. If I sound a little bit off, I am on day 5 of pneumonia, and I should be good within the next few days here, back to 100%. But anyway, we're here on Himmelsdorf, playing the Old Men clan. I'm here in my IS-7, and let's talk about the initial call. So, as we deploy here, you'll see with our lineup, we got 2 IS-7s, a handful of 279s, a bunch of chieftains, 2 CSs, and 3 E3s. Now the idea here, if you can see, is that we're going to make it look like we're going to the hill with our lineup, when in reality we're actually going to work the 2-3 line. So the initial call here is we want those 2 CSs to go to the hill. Now, they have 1 CS, and it's possible the 907 will go up there, but most likely it'll just be the CS. So our 2 CSs should be able to at least kick him off the hill. Now we have 2 E3s going to the Banana Road, and we have 1 E3 going out down here to the 2 line where you can see my cursor. I'm headed to the rail cars, which is a mistake. I should have had another IS-7, or the other IS-7 do that, however, or even a Chieftain, since I have both the Arty Strike and the Inspire. Now the Arty Strike isn't a big deal, but the fact is the Inspire is only going to be used on myself unless I'm able to get in with the rest of the team. Let's go back to the fixed camera here. You can see our IS-7 in the middle got completely obliterated. I thought that the enemy team would be going down the 2-3 more than they actually were, and therefore it was a death sentence to send the E3 there with the enemy team doing what they're doing. Now we have an interesting situation. So, I can't really zoom out at all, but we're going to have to work off the mini-map. Let me just blow it up a little bit. You can see my cursor. We've got a ton of tanks coming down the Banana Road here. We got 2 E3s. No way they're going to hold that. The crew of enemy tanks down there at G3, H3 look like they're just holding to prevent us from pushing down the 3 line. And I believe actually we do have, yes, one of our 279s has poked, so they do know that we're over there. Normally we would just stay back in the little corridor, and that way they wouldn't see us. So what we're going to do now is we're going to push all of our tanks back around just using the E3. We got 1 CS out there, not a big deal. The enemy team is pretty quickly going to realize what we're doing. Our E3s are barely holding on here. And let's just let this play out. So we got an E3, and now there comes the 3-line push. Now I'm trying to take shots at this E3, but I have .37 accuracy. If you look in the bottom left, you see my hit point bar is at 2840 hit points, which is the highest possible HP you can get on an IS-7. To do that, I've had to sacrifice a lot of my gun handling, making this much more of a close-range tank than a long-range sniper. So I'm going to make a break for it here. I do not want to get trapped, but obviously I cannot cut across to the rest of my team. At this point, I'm unable to call on the 7-8. So luckily we have a second caller in here, Munoz, who's going to take over that side for me, where I unfortunately cannot see anything. Back to fixed camera. So now I have to start determining how I can best take on as many of these tanks that come over as possible. So right now I'm using this red line here. I want to stay as far back, so it's going to be a struggle for them to get around behind me. But obviously, if they send enough tanks, I will not be able to win that. I'm going to peek around. Nothing's coming around this corner. Where did they go? There's an E100. Went through the fence post, sets him on fire. Auto fire extinguisher. No worries there. I still get 607 off of that for my first real damage of the game. Now 1 E100 is coming for me. Blew my shot there again. Accuracy not helping. Now we are going to have to contend with this guy. He is using the small gun, which means he's going to have better DPM, And he has better alpha, 530 to my 490. I do have more HP, though. Now there's an E100 behind me, and that is a disaster right there. He manages to hit me in the back for 750. I'm going to activate my Inspire here, try and get this E100 finished as quickly as possible. I'm going to use this E100 to block his teammate from getting a shot into me. See, using the pillar there. Backing up, I have better speed than him. My i7 is set up to have a max speed of 68 kilometers an hour. And now, luckily for me, I have Nygaard there in the Chieftain as a one-shot, blasting over here to try and help me out. He's going to look for Nygaard. He's going to miss the shot. And that's going to allow me to put 435 right into that side of that E100's turret. You can see this battle is still raging on the 7.8. Nygaard's going to get his turret turning. I'm going to high roll there, 579. But that E100 is going to finish off Nygaard there. So I appreciate his help. Now, I'm not really getting a good shot. Looking for the lower plate just too far to the left. I'm going to track him, going to repair, but I think I should reload quickly. It's going to be really tight. Will I take another shot there? Auto aimed right on his side. Little risky there. Probably should have aimed it in, but I'm going to finish him off. Now the situation is pretty dire on the other side of the map there on the 7.8. We're down about 1,000 hit points, but we're up by one tank. Unfortunately, one of the tanks that's left is a 279E, and that is a very difficult tank to contend with in an alleyway, such as where they're fighting. We also have an E3 there who's a one-shot, but that tank does hit for 750, so I'm going to have to get in here to help out. The E3 finishes him off. He's about to disappear into that alleyway, so I'm just going to fire an unaimed shot and risk it. The 279 finishes off our 279, and now I need to get out of here. Because if you look, that 279 is sitting in a pile of dead tanks, and that's going to be perfect cover for an overpowered tank that has a fantastic turret. So I'm going to just break contact with this 279. Now, let's talk about what I have as an advantage here and what he has as an advantage. He has a very well-rounded tank with fantastic armor. He's got lower alpha, but he has much higher damage per minute than I do. What I have going for myself is that one, he's on defense. So, well, that's not going for me. That's going for him. Now, this really quick. I'm trying to play this spot here. I'm way too large. If I do pause, if you get into there, you can shoot through these windows. And what that allows you to do is you can fire right down that cap circle. But you need a very skinny tank to do it, and I don't think there's a tier 10 that can fit there. Now he's on the cap. So, I have to think about how I'm going to approach this. We have multiple angles we can approach the cap. Somebody's suggesting those windows. However, what I need to do is I need to get as close to this guy as I can before he notices me. I have a crew that's set up, again, for speed and for ramming. My gun handling is awful, 0.37 accuracy, and I have about 2,700 DPM. So what I want to do is I want to use this tank's speed and armor setup to ram this tank and get right in his face. He's going to have trouble panning me. Again, my lower plate's pretty big. So if he's able to get shots from range, he's going to only take 2 to 3 shots. If he high rolls 2 shots to pen me, but his reload is pretty short, only hitting for 440. So I have to be really careful. If I can get in his face, I can use the pike nose of the IS-7, where he'll have to shoot right down on top of that, and my very strong turret to be able to handle him. However, I'm going to have the same problem, and in my high blood pressure moment there, I wasn't paying attention and right in. What I was trying to do was go as wide as I could in case he was sitting on the corner right there. So at this point, I know he's either sitting right here or he's sitting along the backside because he would have spotted me otherwise. But I have plenty of time. So I have the same problem. If I'm too close to him, then I'm not going to be able to pen either. So what I'll have to do is I'm going to have to shoot him from range, but I also have to get close. So that's going to make this a very tricky situation for me. He also has a lot more hit points. Now, I'm going to go around here. This was a misplay. I should have side-scraped it, but I was a little bit nervous because we were now down into the 20 seconds mark. So I'm going to come around this corner, and now I know he has to be here at A6, and there he is. He's going to move forward. 0.37 accuracy did not do me any favors there. Now I'm going to start wiggling, because I do not want to get shot at range by this guy. 10 seconds left. So I'm going to use the speed. I'm up to 42 kilometers an hour. Not going to do much. Fire one into his lower front plate there. That's the best way. Now I'm going to face hug him. You can see he's struggling to pen me there. But when I need to get a shot, I'm going to let him back up. I'm going to reverse, and then I'm going to shoot and go right back to face hugging him. He's going to hit my gun there. Now I have one more opportunity. I could load an HE, but I feel that APCR is the best option. I'm going to back off again into his lower plate, and we're going to finish off that 279 with no damage taken. So that is the end of this game. A nice 1v1 in the end. This game would have not have been possible without Munoz over there calling for the entire team other than myself, as well as Nygaard coming blasting across the D-line to absorb a shot from that E100, allowing me to get 3 into him and finishing him off, and ultimately being able to come back around, finish the E3, and then deal with this 2790 at the end. So thank you so much for watching. My voice is giving out, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.